Good evening, and welcome to NCA's 2020 Back to School Night. Due to the pandemic, this event is held virtually, so thank you for tuning in, and I hope that this will be an informative night for all. The opportunity to take a step back and consider what really matters in life must be the true silver lining of COVID-19. On a personal level, my wife and I welcome back our 2 college-age children home. The 4 of us and our 2 Maltipoo dogs have been spending a lot of time together in the past 6 months. Almost daily, we find ourselves gathered at the dinner table, eating, laughing, and telling stories. Sure, it's a bit cramped in our apartment, lacking that personal space, but it's all good. I'm thankful that we're safe, healthy, and sharing our lives together. Professionally, however, the past 6 months have been very challenging. Simply put, I miss the students. The campus without students is, well, not a school at all. It's just buildings and classrooms and books and furniture. Imagine a Broadway stage full of props, but without actors and actresses. There is just no life in it. Everything stands still. That's what it feels like to be on campus without students. The current pandemic has forced me to ask and answer some difficult questions. What is NCA all about? What's so unique about NCA compared to other schools? What do we value, and what is our purpose? As most of you know, NCA was founded in 1999 to educate, enable, and equip the Christian leaders of tomorrow. So this is our 22nd year of offering Christian education to students, and I'm honored to have been on the journey the entire time. NCA is a tightly knit community of students, teachers, and parents that values 1. High academic achievement, 2. Surrounding our students with effective and caring teachers, and 3. Teaching sound and biblical worldviews, and finally 4. Providing safe and nurturing family-like environment to ensure emotional, relational, and spiritual health and development of our students. You see, we take the opportunity to invest in the lives of our students seriously. Children are gifts from God, and as such, NCA exists to love, teach, prepare, and equip our students so that they can be all that God designed them to be. Let me tell you what we're not. We're not a bureaucracy. We're not about teachers' unions or agendas or benefits. We're not about instilling elitism. We're not about cutthroat competition. We're not about money. We're not about fancy buildings and stiff upper lips. I think you get my point. And I hope this contrast provides you with a clearer picture of what NCA is all about and what NCA values. Given this description of NCA and its values, I thank you, parents, for choosing New Covenant Academy. You have a choice when it comes to your child's education. And I believe you chose NCA because you cherish those values as well. You chose NCA also because of your confidence and faith in our track record, our programs, our teachers, and our leadership. It's the shared value and vision and mutual trust that form this school community. I promise you that all teachers and staff at NCA will do our very best to not disappoint you. You see, we're committed to excellence because I know I sound like a Hebrews National hot dog commercial, but quote, we answer to a higher calling. We answer to a higher authority. If you'd indulge me for a few more minutes, I'd like to close tonight's message with what is known as the Stockdale Paradox. Stockdale Paradox. And the rest of the stuff is generally from Jim Collins' book, Good to Great. The backdrop of this story is Vietnam War, in which Admiral Stockdale was imprisoned for 7 years. Admiral Jim Stockdale was the highest-ranking military officer held as prisoner during the Vietnam War. He was in what is called Hilton, Hanoi, from 1968 to 1974. He was tortured over 20 times. His captors could come in at any time, any day, and torture him. He had no sense of whether or if he would ever get out of the prison camp. Absolutely depressing situation. But by his own account, Stockdale came out of the prison camp even stronger than he went in. He said, quote, "Despite the circumstances, I never ever wavered in my absolute faith that not only would I prevail, that is to get out of this, but I would also prevail by turning it into the defining event of my life that would make me a stronger and better person." When asked who didn't make it, who didn't come out of the prison alive like he did, the Admiral said, "Oh, it's easy. I can tell you who didn't make it out. It was the optimists." Now, that's a bit confusing, isn't it? But he continued, "The optimists. Yes, they were the ones who always said, well, we're going to be out by Christmas." Christmas would come and it would go. Then there will be another Christmas, and so on, and they died of a broken heart. This is what I learned from those years in the prison camp, continues Admiral Stockdale, where all those constraints just were oppressive. You must never, ever, ever confuse, on the one hand, the need for absolute unwavering faith that you can prevail despite those constraints, and with, on the other hand, the need for the discipline to begin by confronting the brutal facts, whatever they are. Dear NCA family, let's learn from Admiral Stockdale's experience as we deal with the challenges of educating our students in the midst of a pandemic. Yes, the current situation is depressing and feels oppressive, but if we remain resilient and gritty, that we will prevail ultimately, all the while honestly and factually deal with daily challenges of living and educating our children. We too will survive. No, we will thrive in the end. Let us never waver in our absolute faith that we would prevail, and turn this experience into a defining event of our lives that would make us stronger and better people for our own sake and for that of our children. So NCA, remain gritty and resilient each day, and hold on to the hope that we will ultimately find ourselves at the other end of the tunnel. This is not a cave. We're going through a tunnel. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope that you have a wonderful back-to-school night event. Enjoy the rest of your evening.